What is going on, everyone? Welcome to our Finance Tuesdays. We are on part 11 of the Blueprint to Financial Freedom. Last week, we talked about the dangers of long-term care costs and how that could be very expensive and unnecessary. And today, we're going to talk about planning ahead when you die. It's very important to make sure you have this set up correctly, because if you don't, your family's going to pay for it. So what if you have a will? Let's just say you have a will set up and, obviously that means you pass it on to your beneficiary. You think everything's okay. But here's the problem. It's still going to go through the courts. They call it probate, which means that the court is going to hold on to your assets for up to 18 months. What does that mean? Well, your family doesn't have access to your funds. They can't do anything with it. They can't touch it. The court will decide how this is going to play out. And the problem is there's going to be an average cost of legal fees of 15%. That's right. 15% of your assets is going to the courts. And that's not fair, because what if your family wants to use that for other purposes? Or what if they just want to have access to those funds? Well, they can't right now because it's held up in the court system. So how do we handle this situation? Well, first off, we want to set up a trust fund. Why do you want to set up a trust fund? Because it acts as another person, right? They now own your funds, and you can now have your beneficiaries get direct access right away to the funds instead of waiting 18 months. They now have direct access. So it's very important that you set this up correctly, because if you don't, your assets are going to pay a price for it. So you set up your trust. The next thing you want to do is set up rules and regulations. Why would you want to set up rules and regulations? Well, if you have a kid who's not responsible with money, do you really want them managing $50,000 to $100,000 to $200,000 or more of your money? And what if they blow it? So what you want to do is you can set up a financial course. We've been talking about the Blueprint to Financial Freedom. You could say, hey, I want my child to read this book. I want them to watch courses on the Sacred Account. I want them to exhibit that they have an understanding of money. I want them to show me that they can actually manage money correctly. You can set up these rules and regulations. And the reason why you want to do that, because you don't want them blowing your money. You can also tell your trust that, hey, I want this certain amount of dollars to go into these real estate deals while I'm dead. Why would you want to do that? Because again, you want to pass on your legacy to the next generation. You want to make sure your wealth is still protected. So that's why you want to set up a trust. Another thing that you want to set up is you want to set up identity theft, because you want to make sure that if you increase your value, you build your wealth. Well, if you're gone, somebody could potentially steal your identity. So you want to make sure you have that in place. You want to have legal insurance in place. Just add these into your trust so a lawyer can defend you when you're not here. That way they can prove you're actually legit. So just some things to think about. Make sure you look into this. I'm not saying do this right away, but this is part of the process as you build wealth. Make sure you set up a trust. That way you protect your assets and nothing goes crazy when you die. If you have any questions, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.